Hey guys, welcome to Farm Alarm. My name is Tracy. Today I'm going to give you a farm tour. I haven't done a video like this in a while. Stay tuned. It's January 2020, and as you can see all the way around me here, I've got some snow on the ground, and it's actually not too cold out today, probably in the 30s, mid 30s. And this is my greenhouse, and we've got a 20 by 20 greenhouse made from a carport here, and attached to that you see a 10 by 10 building, and that contains our wood stove. So let's go inside, check out the greenhouse. So here in my greenhouse, I mostly grow in containers, and these are containers that are that I get from farmers for free, and they're called molasses tubs. Sometimes you can pick them up at farmers markets. Maybe some people are repurposing them or just trying to sell them for $1 or $2. And even at that, even if you can't find them for free, $1 or $2 is a great investment. I've had these probably for the last 4 years, and they've held up great. They don't seem to be breaking down. Right now I have 5 different things growing in here, and we didn't get our wood stove up early as I wanted to, and so that's why we don't have a whole lot growing right now. We've got some purple kale, some Tom Thumb lettuce, some salad mix. Over here is some red Russian kale, and then behind that is some spinach. And everything that I grow comes from Baker Creek Seeds. If you haven't checked them out, if you've never heard of them, they're non-GMO, and you can find them at rareseeds.com. But we've had great success with them. Over here I've got some trellises that you kind of see there, and that's just some 2x3 welded wire fence, and we allow different things to grow up them in those 2 containers right there. That would be some cucumbers that we have growing, some really long English cucumbers that grow up to about 18 inches long. Over here in this corner, you can see that our heat is coming in, and it's just a 6-inch supply line that comes in. It's got 2 outputs, one right here that's about 1/3 of the way in, and it just blows straight out. And then you follow along with this insulated flex duct all the way to the other side over there, and it has an output as well. Another good use for a greenhouse in the wintertime is we like to hang clothes up that we would hang up on the lines during the summertime. What sets my greenhouse apart from a lot of other hoop houses, well, one, that we repurposed a 20 by 20 carport. So this is just a carport frame, come from Tri-State Carports, and you could generally pick up a carport for about $1,000, and if you can get a hold of a used frame, maybe a couple $100 from a carport supplier from the warehouses where they go and take down displays from dealers. And that's what this was a display that we picked up for about $200 or $300. It's been a while since we put it up, so I don't quite remember. But you can see that I've got some shelves that I've just been putting in here, and that's going to be for starting seeds. Also, I've got a water hydrant that we dug in last winter, this time last year, and put a new water hydrant in. That way we're not hauling in hoses from the outside. We've got water in here. Well, I've got that plumbed right into a PEX line, and then behind my fan over here you can see that it goes into this filter, and then it comes out into these brass, or to this to these brass fittings with a couple of supplies out. And then I even have a sink, and it stays warm enough in here that stays warm enough year round. Right now it's 70 degrees, 54% humidity, and 70 degrees, that's pretty nice. I don't know what it is outside, like I said earlier, probably mid 30s. And yeah, so anyway, let's go check out the wood stove room. I don't have a whole lot going on here, so let's go check out the wood stove room and see how we heat this thing. Pretty simple setup. I've got this 10 by 10 building. It also came from Tri-State Carports. It was a dealer takedown. They don't make this size anymore, so I was able to pick this, just the frame itself up. I paid $80 for this frame, and then I bought some tin and put on here, and I don't remember what that was, but I've had the tin laying around for a while, so I don't have a whole lot in this building. I got the stove from Orscheln's. It's just a hot blast, and I've got two outputs coming off of that. One going into our house. This other one going into the greenhouse where we just were. Also in the greenhouse, I have a cold air return, so that way it's not just putting that hot air in, but it's also sucking some of the cold air out. And then of course coming out of the house, we have a cold air return over there as well. And then like I said, that's the supply. And then we've got this is double wall non-insulated pipe, and so it's got a stainless steel inner liner, and then this is a double wall insulated pipe, and it draws really well. I've got a lot of some oak in there. There's some hickory. I've got some red elm down here, and I've got a lot of hedge for those cold nights. Just throw a couple pieces of hedge in there. You never ever want to load your stove full of hedge, because that stuff burns. The BTUs on hedge, if you look it up, is really close to twice as much as oak, and you can really melt a stove down with hedge. Right here is a Dirksen building, which is a 14 by 20, and we got this that we're going to make into our homeschool room, because we're going to homeschool our son. So it's not finished right now, but it's a super nice building. It's insulated on the floor. We had the floor spray foamed as they were building it, and we are in the process of insulating the inside right now. We've got water ran in there and electric as well. This is the chicken run. Pretty big area, because we also allow sheep to come over in this paddock, and we've got it separated off for two different breeds of chickens. Eventually we're gonna separate those off. Currently right now the most birds that we have are an American breast bird, and we've got in this run over here, this little chicken tractor, we've got some I am Chimani all black chickens. So as our chicken coop, our main chicken coop, we have a 10 by 16 Dirksen building that we picked up used, and we bought that building for about $1,000, which was an excellent deal on that. And I've got it divided off. About a third of it from this point over is chicken coop. Other side is storage, and the boxes are on the inside. And one cool thing, you can't really tell too well right now, but on top, this building is completely self-sufficient as far as electricity goes. It is solar. It's got a solar panel up top, and I've been doing that for the last 3 years. It's been going great. Well, it's real hard to see with this window being there. It's casting, or it's bringing in a lot of light. But right here, I've got a charge controller. Got a charge controller for the solar panel right now, and the battery. The battery's pretty low. It says like 10.8 because we've had a lot of snow and not a whole lot of sun. And right here is a digital timer that runs the whole lighting system. So the lights come on and off all by themselves, and this is all 12-volt system. I do not have this ran back to, I don't have it inverted to back to 120 volts, because all the lights that I run in here, there's a light up there, there's a light right there, and the light that's hanging right there. All the lights that I run in here are 12-volt LED screw type, so they go in a regular house style light receptacle like this right here, and inside of that is it just looks like a regular light bulb, except that it is 12-volt LED. And I thought, well, why would I need to switch that back to 120 volts just to run the lights? And so I found some 12-volt LED bulbs, work great. Up here you can see that I don't have to go inside the coop. So there's the coop door, all the chickens inside, but you see I do not have to go inside to collect eggs. We've got nesting boxes right there, and each box has four nests inside of them, and I've got 2 boxes. So pretty simple setup here. I've got quite a bit of an American breast roosters in there that I need to cull. Best tasting chicken in the entire world is an American breast. They actually come from France, I believe. They are just a breast bird over in France. And you could pay upwards of $200 for a whole chicken at a restaurant. And I thought, wow, That's really expensive. What's so good about them? Well, anyway, the meat marbleizes like an expensive beef or a real nice beef steak. And so it's the only chicken in the world where the meat marbleizes. Well, I was going to show you the all black chickens, the IM Chimani or AM Samani, however you want to say it. They just went inside, and currently we only have three nice hens. And we had one really nice rooster, and he recently died. Last week he died, not sure why. It hasn't been getting super cold out, and you know, nothing can get them inside, and they've been fed, and so I don't really know why it died, but it died. So we're in the market of getting a nice all black IM Chimani chicken. We have 3 that are running with our regular flock. They are all 3 roosters, but they're not good quality. They have some red in their wattles and their combs, and they have some whiting, some white tips. Right here's our garden, and it's about 25 foot by 60 foot, and it is entirely covered with landscaping fabric, and then it's got holes every so often. And in this area I used to have a whole lot of problem with weeds, and we used to do a back to Eden garden, and we had so much milkweed, and I've gotten a lot of grief for wanting to get rid of milkweed because the monarch butterflies, that's what they eat. They love to eat it, and I don't mind it growing anywhere on the property. I just hate it growing in the garden because it takes over and other weeds get in here. So we suppressed them by putting this landscape fabric on there, and last year was the first successful year that we've had a good garden with landscaping fabric. It turned out excellent, and we didn't pull it up. We want to see how many years it lasts if we just leave it down, and I'm thinking 3 to 4 years. And so it's ready. It's ready to be planted. As soon as we're going to be out of freezes, I'll come in and pull up the rest of this old corn stalks, and I've got some okra stalks out here that we didn't get pulled up. So we make a lot of blackberry videos, and I've got a pretty good video on YouTube, and right now it's probably about 150,000 views, and I think it's called 6 Tips to Successful Blackberry Farming or something along those lines. But anyway, we have 5 80-foot rows of blackberries that we grow. They are thornless Apache blackberries, and we originally did them for ourselves. Then we decided to try to pick them and sell them farmers market style. That's way too much work for us to do because we have a whole lot going on in the summertime, being business owners in town and trying to run a farm. There was no way that we could take on another business side, so we decided to open up a U-pick patch during the week for about a month whenever blackberries are in full bloom. And my wife stays home, and she allows people to come out and pick blackberries on our farm, and they are excellent. We just made a pie the other night. So good, so good. So this brings us to our 24 by 25 sheep barn, and let's go inside and check out the different sheep that we have. I currently have 8 sheep, and they are all Katahdin hair sheep. If you're not familiar with how sheep work, most of the time you have to shear the sheep and get the wool off of them in the summertime. Well, these sheep are called hair sheep, and that means you do not have to shear them, and they just lose their hair, kind of like a cat or a dog would in the summertime. Whenever they get hot, they shed their coat. As you can see over here, I have a brand new baby lamb. That lamb is probably about 3 or 4 days old now, and her and mama, we've got them pinned up in a jug over there, and I do that for about a week, about 7 days, and just let them bond, you know, let them get that bonding time. And that way also everybody else, especially the big ram here, which we call 79, that way nobody's messing with the baby or the mama, and they can kind of get their eat on as much as they want, where I don't really feed these guys as much grain. I do try to give them free choice on hay constantly, but I'm going to give her free choice on grain, meaning that she'll always have a supply of grain plus hay to eat as well. So on this side of the barn, each space up here, this is also a carport, 5, 10, 15, 20. So this is 20 foot long by 12 wide. and which is just a little space to kind of get them out of the weather, especially during the winter time. They don't spend a whole lot of time in here during the summer, although when it rains, it's a good spot to get them out of the rain. I also want to start downsizing on sheep. Right now I've got 8 sheep with more on the way, and I'm hoping she has twins. I was hoping she would have twins, and she'll probably have a single because it'll be her first time. But anyway, I'm running out of room. I don't have as much land. I have more sheep than I have room for land, and I'm going to be selling some sheep pretty soon, hopefully. My plan is to maybe keep two sheep and a ram. Not really sure. I'd probably be interested in selling the whole flock, and just, I don't know. If you're interested, let me know. I'm a huge tractor nerd. I love buying tractors, old tractors, and my dad got me hooked on Minneapolis Moline tractors as a kid. And this is my Minneapolis Moline R. It's a real light pulling tractor that we've got. And last year, my friend Justin and I, we rebuilt the motor, and I think it runs really good. We dynoed it. Originally, this tractor would have come out with about 23 horsepower, and I think it was right around 40, 41 horsepower. I don't quite remember, but so, you know, a little bit more than what it would have had factory, and it does a really good job in light classes. Next to this is Henry, my son Henry's tractor, and this is a Cub Lowboy with a cab on it. My friend Jesse and I restored this thing, and I went up to Wisconsin. Ashley and Henry and myself went all the way up to Wisconsin and bought that cab, which is a pretty rare cab. So we run Premier One electric fence. It's definitely not plugged in right now, but you can see that this is a good fence. We really enjoy this fence. We can move it around, and because I personally don't have the means to be fencing off a bunch of land, this was a good means to an end for us to be able to buy fence and to be able to move it on different lands. So this is what we call our back 40, not 40 acres, but this is land that we had cleared out and we run our sheep on. Over here next to this is land that we lease from my neighbor, and which is about twice the amount of land that we have for the sheep to run on. So we kind of push them back and forth, and then we let them go up there on that chicken run as well. And then we've got a little stint in the front yard that they get to go on a little bit in the summertime.
Oh, here's a little story for you. Let's sit right down and talk it through. You found a little love and give it back again. Is it supposed to be this hard?
Sadie, look, sit. Oh, Sadie, you crazy girl. Oh, you're so crazy. Hey, thanks a lot for watching, guys. And if you stayed to the end of this video, let me know. And hey, we'll see you guys on the next video. You're so crazy. You're crazy. Go, Sadie, go, Sadie, go.